like it wasn't planned. Like I knew I was gonna get the music one, but the other two kind of just like fell because of the classes that I completed. I was like,
Sure.
okay, why not? I'll take them. Um, so yeah, but basically when I was ready to transfer, I had applied to 5 different schools. I had gotten fully accepted into one up in San Francisco, and then I got accepted by the music program at Cal State LA, but I didn't get accepted by the university. So there was some weird workaround that I had to try to appeal to the university through the music program. I don't remember what happened. I just didn't end up going. And
Wow.
then I had, at that time, I had just recently started going to church. I had never been to church in my life before, so around 2017 when I started going, and I graduated in 2018, so I was there for about a year, and then my pastor told me about La Sierra, and so he brought me here, he showed me around, and
Was this an Adventist church?
yes,
Okay.
yeah, so he brought me here, showed me around. I was like, okay, so I applied. 2 weeks later, I got accepted. 2 weeks after that, I'm already in school. I was like, okay, cool. So that's how that kind of went. It was unexpected, but kind of exactly what I needed at the time.
Hello, I'm Ricardo Reina, welcoming you to the Department Stories, a series of interviews showcasing incredible stories from La Sierra University Department of Music. We are happy to have Nicolas Zavala. The road to becoming a music educator was not been easy for Nicolas, but it has been filled with blessings. From falling in love with euphonium in marching band to being the first in his family to attend college, Nicolas shared with Department Stories the kind of impact that music came to make on a life and in a community. Remember that you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at La Sierra University Music. But right now, enjoy the Department Stories.
Okay, so, well, my name is Nick. I am a graduating senior. I play the euphonium and trombone, among some other things.
Cool. And the next question would be, how do you start in music? Why music?
I don't know, like, why does anyone really start music? When I was in elementary school, I remember we had this, like, assembly for like band, and I was like, you had all the teachers from different schools coming in playing like these really cool like songs and like for us, so like that was really cool. I was like, oh, I want to do that. So
from the beginning it was just like, that's what I want to do.
yeah, I was just like, this is so cool. So yeah, I signed up. I started out on trumpet and
Cool.
yeah.
So you started on trumpet then?
Yes, I did start on trumpet. Originally I wanted to play the drums because you know, who doesn't want to play the drums?
Okay. And how do you change to the trombone or the euphonium?
So I played trumpet through middle school, and then I started playing a little bit of baritone in like 8th grade because they needed like a baritone player for an ensemble. So I was like, okay, cool. And then
So you started in an ensemble, and then they needed an euphonium.
yeah. So they needed a euphonium player, so I played it. I was like, okay, cool. And then when I went to high school, I was gonna just go back to trumpet and play trumpet in the marching band and jazz band or whatever. And like before school even started, I get a phone call from one of the section leaders in the marching band. It's like, hey, I'm just calling because
Oh wow.
I'm the baritone section leader and we need more baritones. Would you be interested? I'm like, yeah, sure.
Wow.
So yeah, so basically I started then and like I just stuck with it. It was fun.
How long were you in the marching bands?
I was freshman through senior year, so all 4 years in high school.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, the marching band culture here is just very big. In Mexico, we don't have something like that. So for me, that's very exciting. Like,
it's really cool. It was very fun. It's an experience I wouldn't trade for anything. Like it was one of the best experiences I've had because it's I don't know. It's
just being there is very very exciting. Just being practicing, and then when you actually performing.
Yeah, it was just really cool, and I think the biggest thing is like you. My school had a really large music program. So when I started as a freshman, we had about 180 students in our marching band. So I mean, that's a huge marching band. And then eventually, when I became a senior, we grew to like 220 people.
Wow.
So having 220 people
in the marching
on one football field playing like music together and making all these performances, it's really cool to be a part of. And then you can go back and we watch these videos like, oh, we were so good. So it's like that kind of just like pushed my love for music even more. Originally, like when I was a freshman, I was like, oh, I want to be in band, I want to play football. So, but I couldn't afford both. So I was like, my parents were like, you have to choose one, band or football. I was like, I'll go with band. And like part of me thinks like, what would happen if I were like chosen football? Because you know, it's football.
Yeah.
But I don't regret. I don't regret this decision. It's brought me to a really cool program, and it's brought me joy for the last 14 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I started when I was 11, and 25 now. So
it's incredible. Some people doesn't really think how music can change your life directly. Going on tours or going to a different school or learning new things, meeting some like very exciting people.
Yeah, and I don't know, navigating the whole like college thing was kind of weird because no one in my family has gone to college. So I'm kind of forced to navigate it on my own, figure everything out for myself, and it was difficult because like I've always been taught like you need to go to college so you can get a degree, so you can get a good paying job, and I'm like, okay, but how do I go about this college thing? I had no clue what I was doing. I got accepted into San Diego State when I was a senior in high school. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go there, and then I didn't have the money for it, so I couldn't go. So I went to community college for 3 years. I went to Riverside Community College, and I earned 3 degrees there.
Oh wow!
And then I was applying. I was like, hey, let me try San Diego State again, and I did. I didn't get accepted, unfortunately. I tried like Cal State Long Beach, Cal State LA, Cal State Fullerton.
What degrees were there?
So I got 3 associate's degrees, 1 in music, 1 in fine and applied arts, and 1 in social and behavioral sciences.
Wow.
So,
and how long was that to take?
3 years. So I got basically one each year.
Wow.
If you're deep into it like that. But yeah, so it was like it wasn't planned. Like I knew I was gonna get the music one, but the other 2 kind of just like fell because of the classes I completed. Like,
sure.
Okay, why not? I'll take them. So yeah, but basically, when I was ready to transfer, I had applied to 5 different schools. I had gotten fully accepted into one up in San Francisco, and then I got accepted by the music program at Cal State LA, but I didn't get accepted by the university. So there was some weird workaround that I had to try to appeal to the university through the music program. I don't remember what happened. I just didn't end up going. And
wow.
Then I had, at that time, I had just recently started going to church. I had never been to church in my life before, so around 2017 when I started going, and I graduated in 2018, so I was there for about a year, and then my pastor told me about La Sierra. And so he brought me here, he showed me around. And
was this an Adventist church?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So he brought me here, showed me around. I was like, okay. So I applied. 2 weeks later, I got accepted. 2 weeks after that, I'm already in school. I was like, okay, cool. So that's how that kind of went. It was unexpected, but kind of exactly what I needed at the time.
Do you believe these how music can, bring people, from other faiths or from other churches here. I don't know. For me, I see it this way, that music or music education maybe is a tool to bring other people or to share the gospel. How do you feel about that?
So like I said, I didn't grow up in a church at all. I had no relationship with God. I had no idea of what any of it kind of meant. Like, you pick up some things as a kid, like, oh, Christmas, this is kind of what it means. But I didn't really like start figuring out my beliefs until I was 2017, fourth? So I was 21 at the time. So I started figuring all this stuff out when I was 21. And like from a young age, that's why I loved music, because things that I couldn't express with words, music kind of took that. I was able to express how I felt through music when I couldn't find the words to express it. And me personally, I don't have a large vocabulary. So being kind of limited in how I express myself, I needed to find a way to kind of do that, and music was that way. Music as like a spiritual aspect, like it's the same thing. It's a powerful form of like worship, form of being, but I don't know if I would say that it had like a specific like pull for me. But every time I go to church now, like music is what I'm there for. Like the message is important to me because it teaches me something new. But the music is how I feel God moving through me. That's how I feel my that's where I feel just like at peace. Like I just feel everything just
Comfort.
Yeah, comfortable. I may be scared, I may be sad, angry, whatever. But as soon as I start hearing that music, I just like, okay, I'm good. I'm calm now.
Wow.
And then I'm prepared to kind of just take on the rest of the day.
Yeah. I mean, I just mentioning that because when you mentioned like how like a pastor grew you here, in the school I was growing, my music teacher, he was very good at playing trumpet, and then because of him, he started making these connections that people from whoever were coming to take lessons with him. And then like, oh, he's part of a school from a church. This is a school from, from a religious point. And even though they were not, baptized or anything, but you see these people performing at church, like sacred pieces or hymns, arrangements, and it was just so incredible to see like how other people, coming just because of music.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I couldn't say it any better myself. Like, music has an effect on people that is mysterious. It's unexplainable, really.
It's heavenly.
Yeah, basically, it's kind of this spiritual thing. Like, I don't know anybody on the planet that, like, I couldn't assume anyone on the planet just does not like music. I believe everybody at some point likes music, whether it's opera, reggae, pop, whatever genre, or even if they just like going outside and listening to the birds chirp and stuff, like that's music too. Like you can't, I don't think it's possible to be a human and not like music.
No, yeah, I agree. And well, since you came to La Sierra, how are some of these experiences, here?
So
what happened after?
My experience at La Sierra has been interesting. So coming from a public school that had such a large program, and then going to a community college that had just as large a program, if not bigger, and then coming to La Sierra, I was like, culture shock. Because in high school and community college, I was used to class sizes being
huge,
34 to 40 people. And then I come to I come to La Sierra, and one of my largest classes is 8 people. Like, that's insane. Like,
I mean, that has like good benefits and.
oh yeah, it has great benefits, because when I was taking music theory at the community college, we had 40 plus people in that class and 1 teacher.
Wow.
Well, that 1 teacher doesn't have the time to be helping 40 students individually, you know, on top of teaching other classes. And then when I come here, we have 1 theory teacher, 2 theory teachers if you count the theory lab, and then you have 8 students. It's like you have 2 teachers for 8 students. That's 4 per. You get so much more like one-on-one time and one-on-one help if you need it. So that was like a great selling point for me. Like, okay, this is cool. And then the relationships with those teachers over the last 3 years, like, you know everybody in this department. You know every teacher knows who you are. Even if you've never met before, they've heard your name or they've seen your face around the department.
Or playing in a concert.
Exactly. So it's like, you're known, you know them, they know you, and then it's like you spend 4 years with them. It's like, it's a great relationship. So I think that's probably one of the best things that I got from La Sierra, is the relationship and the one-on-one guidance from the professors here.
Nice.
We are thankful for the opportunity to share Nicolas' stories. Please stay tuned to our next episodes, where we'll be sharing more stories. If you have stories that you would like us to cover, please subscribe and leave a comment below. See you in the next episode.